This video is sponsored by Skillshare. Hello, it's Jennifer from heysealemon. I am back with a new video for my Ways to Fill Your Sketchbook series, and today we're going to be exploring urban sketching. This has been requested and I've been curious to try this out for myself. I am a total beginner and to be honest, this was a challenge for me. So I will share some tips that I learned along the way, and I'll include some reference photos linked in the description below in case you want some inspiration or if you want to sketch along with me. But first, before we dive in, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any of my videos. I upload something new every week. Hit that bell so you can be the first to get notified for when I post new videos. We are almost to 1 million C-subs, so be sure to subscribe, join us. Urban sketching is typically done in a city area and you are sketching on location in public. You can of course take pictures of things that you like and areas that you find interesting, but from what I've heard and what I've read is that the best experience is when you're sketching on location in public, right there. I made a few attempts at this and I was totally out of my comfort zone. Honestly, I found it more difficult than I expected, but I do remember having to sketch in school. I had some assignments where we had to sketch things on location in public. And for some reason, if there's an assignment to it, I can find it easier to just sketch on location because I have to do it, it's an assignment. So if you think of it that way, that might help you. But if this is your first time trying this, obviously pick a safe place that you don't feel like you're in any risk or in the way of any harm. Start out a place where you are comfortable, like your favorite restaurant or a cafe or a museum, places where you go to look at things and get inspired. It doesn't have to be necessarily a city environment. You can of course sketch things that are of interest to you, but keep in mind it's about sketching the environment that you're in. So my first attempt was in this hardcover sketchbook, which I recently got made because it has my dog on it and I wanted a Kona Bat dog stuff for Halloween. So I'm a crazy dog mom and I got a sketchbook made with my dog on it. And if you're curious about this, I will link it down below. Personally, I like sketching in hardcovers and a small size sketchbook when it comes to sketching in public because it's something easy to take out and it fits perfectly in my purse. I'm not really one of those people that like to set up shop on a public table or a coffee shop. I prefer something that's easy to grab and go and get my sketch on and then quickly leave if I need to. So my first attempt was in a restaurant. I thought if I could eat out there and then sketch, it would be more comfortable for me, and it was more difficult than I thought it would be. You can see everything is kind of wonky, but honestly, urban sketching isn't about making things perfect. It's about sketching there and now and in your environment. So don't think about making a perfect drawing, just sketch what you see, and if it's not great, you can always flip the page and make another one. You can see it's kind of sparse, and I was totally out of my element, so I wasn't really focusing on anything. And then my next attempt was in another book, different time, different setting, and I chose to do it in my Holo book that I made. The link to the tutorial is in the description below in case you want to check it out. But this again is another small book. It's a hardcover, so it's easy to kind of put on your lap in case you need to. It fits easily in my bag. And for this attempt, I chose to sketch in the mall. Part of urban sketching is that you can include some people in your sketches because they are also in your environment. And people are really difficult for me as an artist, and it's totally difficult for me when I'm trying to sketch them in person and not look creepy. I did find myself kind of like putting my book in my lap, trying to like hide my sketch and trying to be kind of like secretive about it, but then I felt uncomfortable or like I was making other people uncomfortable. So you just have to really try it to find your comfort zone. Don't sketch people if you're making them uncomfortable or if you feel uncomfortable. So if you see a person, just kind of keep that snapshot in your mind and then sketch it really quickly. Fill in the gaps later if you need to. Something else you can try for this is sketching window displays. They're usually really creative, so they're interesting to sketch, and there's mannequins in there, so it's kind of like sketching people, but the mannequins don't care if you stare at them. Although sometimes the mannequins don't have heads, but you can look at the forms and it's still something interesting to sketch. Something else that can help with sketching people is picking a place where it's okay to look at people. Maybe there's a public performance going on or a sporting event where people are watching those people and it's okay to look at those people. Obviously, be respectful to the people around you, and if you have any tips, I would definitely love to read any tips for sketching people in the comments if you have experience with this. I took a trip to New York a couple of months ago, and of course I thought New York would be the perfect place to try urban sketching. There's so much city life to sketch, but I found it so fast-paced that I couldn't really find a place to stand or sit where I didn't feel like I was in the way. So I took pictures of the environments instead, which is totally fine too. I think that's a good step for beginners, and it will give you time to practice sketching quickly from your photos. These next sketches I did in my Leuchtturm 1917 sketchbook, and usually when you see urban sketches, you'll see there are like beautiful scenes and beautiful cafes and old street corners and buildings. I feel like there's a lot of the same kind of scenes online, and you don't have to copy that. Just draw what's around you and what you find interesting. Because I was kind of tired and bored seeing the same kind of city street scenes, I decided to focus on a collection. So I was really influenced by windows that I saw in the city. You could try a collection of just rooftops or ornate decor that you see on certain buildings. Having an assignment, like I mentioned, such as a collection, can really help focus, and then you know what you're there for. And don't worry too much about being really detailed. If you miss something, you can always go back in and fill it in, or make up the details with simple shapes. You can always fine-tune and add colors to your sketches later. I think I really liked these windows because they had such character. I liked the like grimy kind of grittiness of this window. Based on my first experiences with urban sketching, I find it best to not have a plan because nothing really ever went to plan. I think it helps to be open to finding spontaneous things to sketch, because things might present themselves that you weren't expecting to sketch, and you kind of improvise. That said, I still think it's good to have some kind of loose assignment in your mind. Just keep it loose so that it's there in case you feel like you're off track and you need something to fall back on. Urban sketching is totally a different experience when you do it in person versus from a photo, and it definitely got me out of my art comfort zone. It was a challenge and I'm still working at it. It might get easier if you go with someone else or you go with a group, but if you have tried this, I would love to know your experience in the comments below. Now I'm going to take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with thousands of classes to choose from. The premium membership gives you unlimited access to high-quality classes from experts working in their fields. Skillshare is also more affordable than most learning platforms out there, and they have an annual subscription for less than $10 a month. The main reason I started this series of ways to fill your sketchbook is because I have a lot of sketchbooks. I'm kind of a sketchbook addict. And I find Skillshare's videos really inspiring. They have a lot of videos that have ways to draw and paint just about anything. They even have some videos on the topic of urban sketching. And Skillshare has a special deal to share with you guys. The first 500 people to sign up through my link will get 2 free months of premium membership. After the 2 months is up and you still want to use Skillshare, then your membership is as low as $10 a month. You can also find that link in the description below, and if there are other ways to fill your sketchbook that you'd like to explore on this series, let me know in the comments below and hit that like button if you want to see more videos like this. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you want to support more videos on my channel, consider becoming a patron. I'll put my Patreon link around here. You can also support this channel by becoming a YouTube member, and I'll put all of that information and links down below. You can jump into the previous video right here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!